She went undercover in a luxury spa that destroyed her marriage. What she discovered will shock you. The lobby of the Haven retreat smelled like lavender and wealth. Gold accents gleamed on the marble walls, and soft music poured out of hidden speakers. It was one of the top-rated spas in the country, the kind of place billionaires whispered about to one another behind closed doors. "Welcome to Haven, Mr. Carter," said a young receptionist with perfect skin and a smile too polished to be real. Her voice was silk, yet her eyes held something sharp, like she knew a secret she wasn't supposed to share. Robert Carter, a hedge fund titan from New York, adjusted his cufflinks and gave a polite nod. "Appreciated. I've heard this place is different." The girl's smile widened, almost knowingly. "You'll leave feeling like a new man." He followed her into a dim hallway where the air grew heavy with incense. The scent was intoxicating, almost dizzying. Inside the massage room, a young woman in her early 20s lit a candle, the flame flickering shadows across her face. She was stunning, hazel eyes, full lips, skin glowing under the soft light. "Please, relax," she whispered, her voice low, soothing. As Robert laid on the table, closing his eyes, he didn't notice the way she dipped her fingers into a small bowl hidden by the candlelight. The liquid shimmered, dark and strange, mixed with perfumes and something far more disturbing. The masseuse leaned close, her breath brushing his ear. "Breathe deeply, let everything go." And he did. The longer he inhaled, the more his thoughts blurred, as if her voice and the scent were crawling into his mind, rewriting it. Weeks later, Robert walked through a crowded farmer's market in Manhattan. He was distracted, restless. He'd been snapping at his wife more, waking up at night sweating, unable to explain the strange ache in his chest. Then he saw her. The same girl from the spa. Her hair tied up in a messy bun, a basket of flowers in her hand, laughter spilling from her lips as though the world belonged to her. "Excuse me," Robert said without thinking, his voice catching in his throat. She turned, those hazel eyes meeting his, and in that instant he felt something inside him snap. Desire, obsession, he couldn't even name it. "Hi," she said softly, tilting her head like she'd been waiting for him. Robert's phone buzzed in his pocket, his wife calling. He ignored it. This scene was not a coincidence. The girl's smile wasn't chance. Every meeting was orchestrated, a web carefully spun by Haven Retreat's ruthless CEO, Victoria Blake, a woman in her 40s with sharp cheekbones, platinum hair, and an empire built on secrets. In her office, Victoria swirled a glass of wine and smirked as her assistant reported another client falling under their spell. "Good," she said coldly. "Strip him clean. Leave nothing." But what Victoria didn't know was that someone had started watching her spa very closely. Her name was Danielle Price, a black woman with eyes hardened by pain. Her marriage had been destroyed years ago by the same system, her husband lured, broken, left bankrupt. Danielle had lost everything. Now, she was back. And this time, she wasn't just grieving. She was hunting. Danielle sat in her car outside the Haven retreat, her fingers gripping the steering wheel so tight her knuckles whitened. The building loomed ahead, glass walls, manicured gardens, a fountain sparkling in the sunlight. To anyone else it was luxury. To her, it was the place where her life had been stolen. Her phone buzzed. A message from her sister popped up. "Danny, you don't have to do this. Let it go." Danielle exhaled shakily. "Let it go," she whispered, bitterness lacing her tone. "They destroyed me." She closed her eyes, and the memory hit her like a punch. Her ex-husband, Marcus, sitting across the kitchen table, eyes glassy, voice trembling. "I don't love you anymore," he'd said flatly, like the words weren't even his. Her heart had shattered right there, and by the time she realized another woman had sunk her claws into him, one of their women, it was too late. The house, the savings, the future they built, gone. Danielle blinked back tears, forcing herself into the present. She wasn't here to cry. She was here to fight. Inside the Haven retreat, another billionaire was already falling under their spell. "Breathe in," the masseuse whispered, pressing her hands into the man's back. Her touch was gentle, but the bowl of strange liquid was burning nearby, its fumes rising like invisible smoke. The man, Jonathan Myers, a tech mogul with a perfect family in the suburbs, groaned in relaxation. His thoughts grew cloudy, drifting. "You're safe here," the girl's voice coiled in his ear. "Everything you've ever wanted is waiting for you." Jonathan's lips parted. "Everything," he repeated, as if hypnotized. The girl smiled faintly. Another thread tied. Another marriage doomed. From the corner of the room, a hidden camera fed the live footage straight to CEO Victoria Blake's office upstairs. Victoria leaned back in her leather chair, her platinum hair shining under the dim light. "Weak men," she muttered, smirking. "They always fall the same way." Her assistant, a nervous young man named Eric, shifted uneasily. "And if someone notices? If one of the wives?" Victoria cut him off, eyes sharp as knives. Then we bury it. Like we always do. That night, Danielle sat at her kitchen table, papers spread out before her. Printouts of spa brochures, articles, names of men who had, suddenly, divorced their wives after visiting Haven. She circled the names with a red marker, her jaw clenched. "It's all of you," she whispered. "One by one, you fell into their trap." On the wall, she pinned a photo of Victoria Blake. Danielle stared at it with burning rage. "You don't know me yet," she said under her breath. "But I'm coming for you." Her hand trembled as she placed a final photo on the board, her ex-husband with the same hazel-eyed girl who had destroyed their marriage. Danielle's vision blurred with tears, but she didn't look away. She needed the pain. She needed the fire. And as the night deepened, she swore silently, this time, someone would pay. The next morning, Danielle stood in front of the mirror, pulling her curls into a neat bun. Her reflection stared back at her, tired eyes, a scar of pain hidden beneath layers of strength. "You got this," she whispered to herself. "You have to." She slipped on a cream-colored blouse and tailored black pants, professional, polished. Nothing about her could scream revenge. Not yet. The Haven retreat buzzed with quiet luxury as Danielle walked in. The receptionist looked up, that same perfect smile plastered across her face. "Welcome to Haven. Do you have an appointment?" Danielle smiled politely. "Actually, I was hoping to speak with someone about opportunities. Employment, maybe." The receptionist's eyes flickered, sizing her up. Beautiful, confident, in her early 30s. Danielle knew exactly what box she fit into. "One moment," the receptionist said, her voice syrup-sweet. She picked up the phone, murmured something, and within minutes a tall woman in a black suit appeared. Her heels clicked against the marble floor like gunshots. "Ms. Price," the woman said, her tone flat but probing. "I'm Erica. Head of staff. Why don't you follow me?" Danielle followed her through the hushed corridors. The scent of lavender thickened, laced with something metallic beneath it, something that made her stomach twist. They entered a sleek office where the walls were lined with awards. On the desk sat a crystal bowl filled with rose petals, though Danielle noticed a faint stain of red at the bottom. Erica motioned for her to sit. "So, you're looking for work?" Danielle nodded, keeping her voice even. "I've done wellness and spa therapy for years. Massage, aromatherapy. I know how to make clients feel at ease." Erica arched a brow. "And you're comfortable working with exclusive clientele?" Danielle hesitated just long enough to make it believable. "I don't mind high-profile people. Money doesn't scare me." Erica leaned forward, studying her like a hawk. "Here at Haven, we take care of more than just bodies. We help men transform." Her words hung heavy in the air, deliberate, testing. Danielle forced a small laugh. "Sounds like exactly what I've been looking for." Erica's lips curled into a thin smile. "We'll see." That evening, Danielle sat in her car again, heart racing. She scribbled in her notebook. "They recruit women. They don't hire therapists, they hire weapons." Her phone buzzed again, this time, a number she didn't recognize. She picked up. "Ms. Price," the voice on the other end purred. Cold. Confident. "This is Victoria Blake. I hear you want to join my family." Danielle froze, her throat tightening. "I look forward to meeting you in person," Victoria continued. "Tomorrow. Don't be late." The line went dead. Danielle's hands shook as she set the phone down. She had wanted to get closer to the enemy, now she was standing at the edge of the fire. And for the first time in years, Danielle felt something stronger than grief. She felt fear. The next day, Danielle stepped through the glass doors of the Haven retreat with her heart pounding so loudly it almost drowned out the soft piano music drifting from the lobby. A different receptionist this time, a young man, sharp suit, sharp smile. "Ms. Price? This way, please." She followed him down a long corridor lined with mirrors. For a moment she caught her reflection, straight posture, calm face, but her eyes betrayed her, flickering with nerves. At the end of the hall, tall double doors opened into an office so immaculate it felt unreal. White walls, glass desk, orchids in perfect bloom. And behind it sat Victoria Blake. She was more striking in person than Danielle imagined. Platinum blonde hair cut in a sharp bob, eyes like winter steel, red lips curved in something that was neither a smile nor a threat, but both at once. "Ms. Price," Victoria said smoothly, rising from her chair. "Welcome." Danielle nodded, forcing steady breath. "Thank you for seeing me." Victoria circled her slowly, like a predator sizing up prey. "I've read about you. Wellness background. A survivor, too. Life hasn't been kind, has it?" Danielle stiffened. "I've had experiences. But I'm still standing." Victoria's eyes glimmered with cruel amusement. "Good. Broken women make the best builders. They know what it costs to lose." Danielle's chest tightened, but she kept her mask in place. And what exactly would I be building here? Victoria leaned close enough for Danielle to smell the faint scent of roses, and something darker underneath, like iron and smoke. Loyalty, she whispered. Transformation. We don't just relax our clients, Ms. Price. We give them purpose. Danielle's pulse raced. She had to play along. Sounds powerful. Victoria's lips curved. It is. But power demands secrecy. If you join us, there's no turning back. Do you understand? Danielle swallowed hard, meeting her gaze. I understand. Victoria studied her one last time, then finally smiled, thin, chilling. Good. You'll start training tomorrow. Erica will prepare you. As Danielle turned to leave, Victoria's voice sliced through the silence. Oh, and Ms. Price? Danielle froze, glancing back. Victoria tilted her head, eyes narrowing. Be careful with your heart. Haven has a way of consuming people. That night, Danielle sat alone in her dim apartment, staring at the city lights through her window. Her notebook lay open on the table. Victoria knows more than she says. They're not just hypnotizing men. They're binding them. Tomorrow, I walk into the lion's den. She closed the notebook, her hands trembling. Marcus, she whispered, saying her ex-husband's name for the first time in months. I'll make them pay. For you. For me. For every woman they've destroyed. The city outside buzzed on, oblivious to the war Danielle had just stepped into. And somewhere across town, another billionaire's marriage was quietly cracking under the Haven spell. The training room was nothing like Danielle expected. No massage tables. No candles. Just a long, dimly lit space with velvet curtains and a low hum of incense drifting from hidden vents. Several young women sat in a circle, perfect hair, flawless skin, eyes that shimmered like glass. They weren't chatting like coworkers. They were silent, staring at the floor as if waiting for permission to breathe. Erica, the head of staff, paced slowly around them. You are not here to rub backs, she said firmly. You are here to own men. Their bodies, their hearts, their wealth. They come to us because they are weak. You will leave them weaker. Her heels clicked against the floor, sharp and deliberate. Every touch, every word, every look, it must mean something. When they inhale your scent, they should lose themselves. When they hear your voice, they should forget their wives, their children, their entire lives. A girl with chestnut hair raised her hand timidly. What if they resist? Erica smirked. They never resist. But if they do, Haven has other methods. Her eyes flickered toward a side table. Danielle followed her gaze and froze. Small bowls sat there, just like the one she'd glimpsed before, filled with shimmering liquid that smelled faintly of roses and copper. Next to them, tiny vials of perfume, strands of hair, things Danielle couldn't quite identify. Her stomach twisted. This is it, she thought. This is how they bind them. Erica's voice cut through her thoughts. Danielle. Danielle's heart skipped. Yes? Stand, Erica ordered. Danielle rose slowly, every eye in the room turning toward her. Tell me, Erica said, circling her the way Victoria had the day before. What do you think a man like Robert Carter, billionaire, hedge fund, 3 homes, wants most when he lays down on our table? Danielle forced a calm expression. He wants to feel seen. Not as a number, not as money. As a man. Vulnerable. Erica paused, lips curling into something like approval. Good answer. Vulnerability is the opening. And once the opening is there. She snapped her fingers. 2 of the girls leaned forward, their voices in unison. We take everything. Danielle felt a chill run down her spine. Later, in the locker room, one of the younger recruits, a blonde girl no older than 20, sat next to Danielle, whispering nervously. They scare me, she said, eyes darting to the door. Victoria, Erica, all of them. Danielle studied her, her instincts pulling. Then why are you here? The girl's lips trembled. Because once you're in, you can't leave. Danielle's chest tightened. She wanted to ask more, but footsteps echoed down the hall. The girl went silent, staring straight ahead, her face blank again. Erica appeared in the doorway. Training's over for today. Tomorrow, you begin demonstrations. Her gaze lingered on Danielle. Some of you will fail. And those who fail don't stay. That night, Danielle lay awake in bed, her notebook open on her chest. She scribbled furiously under the faint glow of her lamp. They use fear. Control. Rituals. The girls are victims too. If I can find one weak link, one who wants out, maybe I can bring them down from the inside. She shut her notebook, staring at the ceiling, her heart heavy. But outside her apartment, parked down the street, a sleek black car sat silently. Inside, Victoria Blake sipped from a glass of red wine, watching Danielle's window. She thinks she's hunting me, Victoria murmured, a smile playing on her lips. But the truth is, she's already in my web. The demonstration room smelled like roses and fire. Danielle stood by the massage table, her palms slick with sweat. A man in his 50s, another billionaire, another victim, lay before her, eyes already glassy from the incense clouding the air. Begin, Erica ordered, her arms crossed. Danielle placed her hands on the man's shoulders, her touch steady, calm. But inside, her heart thundered. She whispered softly, mimicking the others, breathe, let go, trust me. The man exhaled deeply, falling under the haze. Erica watched closely, a faint smirk on her face. But Danielle wasn't there to bind him. She was there to expose them. When Erica stepped out of the room for a moment, Danielle slipped a tiny recording device from her sleeve, planting it beneath the table. Her insurance. Her truth. That night, Danielle sat in her apartment, headphones on, listening to the chilling playback. Erica's voice, we take everything. The girls' voices, we take everything. Victoria's cold command, leave nothing. Tears stung Danielle's eyes. This was it. The proof she needed. She dialed a number she hadn't in years, her sister's. Danny, her sister's voice cracked with surprise. Danielle swallowed hard. I'm about to bring them down. But if something happens to me, promise me you'll share this recording. Promise me. Her sister's voice broke. Don't do this alone. Danielle closed her eyes. I already am. 2 nights later, Danielle returned to Haven with a hidden camera pinned inside her blouse. She'd arranged a meeting with Victoria herself. Victoria sat in her pristine office, glass of wine in hand. Ms. Price, she purred. I must admit, you've impressed me. Quick learner. Sharp tongue. But, she leaned forward, her icy eyes piercing. I don't trust you. Danielle's breath caught. Victoria's smile widened. You're hiding something. I can feel it. Before Danielle could respond, 2 security men stepped into the office, blocking the door. Victoria set her glass down slowly. You came here for revenge, didn't you? Marcus's little wife. The one he left in pieces. The word sliced through Danielle's chest, but she didn't flinch. And you ruined him. Ruined me. Ruined all of us. Victoria tilted her head. Correction. He chose us. We only showed him what he really wanted. Danielle's hand slipped into her pocket, fingers gripping her phone. With one press, the recording began to broadcast live, straight to her sister, straight to the authorities she'd tipped off earlier. You'll never get away with this, Danielle whispered. Victoria's smirk faltered. What did you do? From outside, sirens wailed. Red and blue lights flashed against the glass walls. The security men froze. Danielle stepped forward, her voice steady for the first time. Your empire ends tonight. The raid was swift. The girls were taken into protective custody, trembling and broken. The vials, the bowls, the recordings, all seized as evidence. Victoria Blake was dragged out in handcuffs, her hair disheveled, fury burning in her eyes. As she was shoved into the police car, she locked eyes with Danielle. This isn't over, she hissed. Empires don't die. They rise again. Danielle stood in the rain-soaked parking lot, tears mixing with water on her face. Her body shook, not from fear, but release. She had done it. But as she looked at the young women being loaded into vans, their faces pale and hollow, Danielle realized this wasn't victory. It was only survival. And survival always came with scars. She whispered to herself, voice breaking, Marcus, this is for you. The spa's neon sign flickered in the storm before going dark forever.